Hey guys, welcome back. Jim Boat here. In the previous videos you saw that I was having a great time out in the lake by myself, and I was going to head over to the marina, have some lunch, and then go back to the cove and hung out. But as when I got to the marina, I was getting ready to pull into the slip, the motor lost all power. The display quit, nothing happened. There was no beeping, no warning, it just quit. So what happened basically is I was in the harbor and this display right here had all its digital information. I was running maybe about 1,000 RPMs, maybe 1,500 going into the slip, and the display just quit. There was nothing on it at all. There was no beep, there was no warning, there was nothing. At first it was interesting because I couldn't figure out, did I turn the key off, what happened? So I just kept moving it back and forth and nothing happened. So I turned it off, turned it back on, it didn't come back up, and that was that. I drifted over to the boat dock and started the diagnostic with Stealth. And let me show you what we got. I know I've said this before, but once I get onto the water and relax and stuff, I'm gonna do a deep dive explaining how this system works. But right now, we're just trying to move forward. So the first thing we did, as you can see here, all the battery cables are gone. These are three 48-volt batteries. I disconnected all the batteries because we thought, well, maybe the batteries aren't working. I wasn't sure, maybe they died and whatever. And we just hooked up the two terminals that go to the controller right here. We just hooked up straight to one battery, 48 volts, just to see if it was work. Now the interesting part is when I had it hooked up to just one battery, the display did come on. So we thought while I was sitting at the marina, on the side of the marina, I thought, hey, great, was awesome. I'll have 48 volts. I can putter on the home and be just fine. The opportunity is when I gave it power, the prop didn't move, but it showed current. Now I know there's a lot of speculations. We just don't know. It makes no sense at all. And I did try each battery just in case it was one battery. I tried this one, the second one, and the third one. So when I got home, here's what I did. Is I got two 12-volt batteries together. I made them a 24-volt system. This controller can handle 24 volts, 96, all the way up to 144. So we went to the least common denominator, which was 24 volts. I hooked these two in series, and I had 24 volts. And then I hooked the wires right to here, plugged back in the Anderson connection to make sure there's a good connection, went up to the display, and nothing came on, absolutely nothing. No errors, no beeps, no nothing. So here's where we are. So now what I have to do is I have to take this controller here. Oh wait, there's more diagnosing. So another thing that Stealth asked me to do is to check for the resistance in the controller. Now that's way above my pay grade of understanding exactly what's going on with that part, but here's what I did. I disconnected all of these terminals and I checked for the resistance between the positive and this terminal, the positive and this terminal, and that terminal. And then I went over to the negative side and I checked between that one and this one, the negative and this one, and then so forth and so on. Now the diagram that Stealth sent to me was that there should have been between 50 and 100. It showed 163. I don't know what that means. I have no idea. But what Stealth suggested is for me to take this off, ship it back to whichever label he prints so they can look at it to see if that is the opportunity that's causing the motor not to work. So again, speculation, but I think the motor's just fine. It's the components that's causing trouble, and we're just trying to figure out which component's causing the trouble. And again, the manufacturers have been awesome. I called both of them just to check if it was a battery, as a motor. It doesn't seem to be either one of those. We're speculating, I'm speculating. We think it's a controller. So I'm gonna ship the controller back. They're gonna look at it, and then they'll ship me something back, and we'll try it again. I try to go in there whenever I can, so I just try to, I know it might not help. I'm sure you guys can go, what are you doing? You're wasting water. Just, you know, if I can't get the boat in the water, I'll bring the water to it. What's cool is, there's the power plug. Yeah, I've had to do some work on it. And I've got the AC running. I'm hoping this might help a little bit so I can go inside and work a little bit. Yes, those are wood clamps. Looks like I'm going to be here in the desert for a little bit longer. I just had to take the controller out. I want to show you something. Stealth said they make this so people can work on it, and they really did. Normal screws, normal bolts here. But these connectors, I don't know, you know, when you take some of these wire connectors off, you've got to rub your belly, tap your head, and stomp your foot at the same time to get them apart. These actually are really nice connectors. Push this little pin down and pop them off. Getting this thing back in when I get a new one is going to be fun because I won't remember what goes where, but Stealth will help me with it. All right, I got everything apart here. All the cables are out. Got to take these 4 bolts out, lift this baby out, I think. Wait a minute. Wait. But wait, there's more. Right down here, there's more. Right down here is the water cooling. Now, I really like the water cooling setup. That's where the water goes. I don't know if you see that. Yeah, there we go. That's where the water goes in and out. I think it's really cool. It goes in here and cools this baby off. Stealth said I could just cut them if I have enough water hose. Well, that's it right here. So I have plenty of water hose. So I think I'm just going to nip them. Get some wire cutters or scissors or something. Just cut them and pull it out of there. All right, let's keep going. Well, darn. I thought this was going to be really easy. Last 4 bolts. Let me show you. So to take these bolts out right here, there's 4 bolts that hold the controller in. The opportunity is there's a head on the top of these bolts. Guess where the head is? Well, it's underneath this. This is bolted to my boat so it doesn't move. So now I got to figure out how to unbolt this whole box so I can lift it up and put a socket on the bottom of the keep from the head spinning. I've got this box moved in. I've got it fastened pretty well to the boat so it doesn't move, and I don't think I can get to the bottom of this thing to hold the head so I can turn the nuts. All right, well, gotta be done.
1 eternity later.
So one of the tests, can you see me? Stealth wanted me to do was do an ohms check on the controller itself. Now again, this is way outside of my pay grade, but his instructions are pretty good. So let's check the ohms or the resistance on this controller. We're having a nice monsoon here, that's why I can stay outside right now. So hopefully the wind's not too strong. Let's take a look. So let's gonna zero out the meter. I have this on 200 kilo ohms. The highest this should be is 100 kilo ohms. I'm gonna zero out the meter. Okay, the meter's at 0. First thing they said is touch the ground and each one of these terminals. So that one shows a short. This one shows 39.3, 4, and this one shows 39.5. Again, from the negative, W shows a short. All right, let's go to the positive side now. Zero out the meter and put the positive on the positive, and we'll start with U, 39.5, V, 39.4, and W, short. I really don't know what that means, but I'm guessing they should all be about the same number. Obviously the ones the short probably shouldn't be doing the short thing, if that's what that means when it hits a 0. Anyway, we're gonna box this up, ship this off to Stealth, and they're gonna take a look at it and send me another one. I think I'm gonna end this video right here. This is just a weekly update of where I am. I'll keep you guys updated on the progress of the controller. Hopefully the problem is in the controller. Stealth can fix it, ship me another one, and we can get on the water. I love you guys. I'll talk to you in the next video.